How's it going, Thieves fans? Today we're going to be talking about the upcoming matchup between the Los Angeles Thieves and Minnesota ROKKR. Because this is the only matchup that the Thieves have this weekend, I want to look at some of ROKKR's previous matches throughout Major 4, so that way we get a better understanding of what the Thieves are up against this weekend. As of before the Thieves matchup, the ROKKR are currently sitting at 2-2, having won their first two matches against Florida and LAG, and losing their last two to NYSL and FaZe. Their first two matches came in a pretty dominant fashion. They won the first matchup against Florida 3-0, and then they won their second matchup against the Gorillas 3-1. In their series against Florida, both of their respawns were really close. The only thing that wasn't was the search, with ROKKR winning 6-3. The hardpoint was fairly close, being 250 to 208, and the control was close as well, being 3-2. I feel like their showing against Florida is tough to tell really where they stand, just because Florida isn't too much of a top tier team at the moment. So going 3-0 against them, to me, doesn't really prove too much, knowing that they're going to be going up against Thieves, who are arguably a top three team in the league right now. With their matchup against LAG, as I said before, it was a 3-1. The only map they ended up losing was the map 1 hardpoint, and that was in part because they had 3 people who were negative, and only one person on LAG was negative, that being Assault. After that, both their search and destroy and the controls were fairly close, the search being 6-4 and the control being 3-2. Both Cammy and Thieves played really well in the search, and both of the respawns that ROKKR were able to come away with in the series, Afro played really well, and Fame played really well in the control, going 33 and 28. Similar to the match against Florida, I'm really not too impressed with them being able to beat LAG 3-1. LAG has kind of been in a rut recently, and they've just been struggling to get any wins on the board. So again, this doesn't show too much of what the ROKKR can do against top level teams. So I think their last two matchups against NYSL and FaZe will have a better idea of where they stand. In their matchup against NYSL, they were only able to take the first hard point, where they won 250 to 164. The next 3 maps were taken pretty handedly by NYSL as they slowly started to heat up. Sky started off in the search and destroy going 11 and 4, which led to Kismet going 32 and 22 in the control, and Priesta being the only person negative on NYSL. This continued into the final hardpoint, where Priesta again was the only person who went negative for NYSL, where Afro and Fame were not able to get over 15 kills. ROKKR's last matchup is what I believe to be the most telling. That was up against FaZe, where they ended up losing 3-2. Their first hardpoint, they had a really rough showing. Nobody on the team was able to break positive, and to make things worse, Abizi went 38 and 13 with just under 4k damage. They continued their struggles going into the search despite it being a 6-4 loss. Bance ended up being the only person positive for ROKKR, whereas everybody on FaZe ended up being positive. The control is where things finally started to turn around a little bit for ROKKR. They ended up winning it 3-2, and if I remember correctly, they were down 2-0 and ended up reverse sweeping the control. Bance ended up only being the only person negative for ROKKR, and Cammy was 37 and 26. Luckily for ROKKR, they were able to take that momentum and bring it into the next hardpoint, where they ended up winning 250 to 237. It was a very back and forth hardpoint where Afro ended up going 33 and 22. The final map was where everything kind of fizzled out for ROKKR, where they ended up losing in round 11, a 6-5 loss. Simp and Abizi ended up combining for 25 kills, whereas Fame was the only person positive on ROKKR, going 12 and 8. Bance really struggled as well, going 3 and 10, and Afro and Cammy combined for 12 kills. Despite all that, they were able to keep it close, but unfortunately lost a 2v2 in the round 11. With all that being said, where do I think the ROKKR land in comparison to Los Angeles Thieves? I still see it being a strong showing for Thieves. I think based on how they played against Optic, they played a little slow initially, but they started to heat up towards the end, and they mentioned the things that they needed to work on, and I think as long as they can do that, I still think that Thieves are overall a better team than FaZe at the moment. Thieves have their respawns more figured out than FaZe does, but FaZe has better search and destroys than Thieves do. And if FaZe hadn't have dominated the first hardpoint, this series really could have been a whole lot different. FaZe were able to close out on both of their searches, which is the biggest reason I think the Thieves will stand out more against ROKKR than FaZe did. I think ROKKR will have a more difficult time with the Thieves on their respawns, and specifically hardpoint. And I also think their control is a lot better than ROKKR's as well. With all that being said, I think the keys to victory for the Thieves are going to be to shut down Afro and to shut down Fame. The reason I think they need to shut down Afro is because all of the matches that ROKKR has had that have been a lot closer on their hardpoints has been when Afro has played really well. For Fame, I think the Thieves mostly need to shut him down in the searches. That's where he tends to play better. but he has had some breakout performances in the respawns as well, so that is something to keep an eye on. I think Cammy is in a similar boat as Afro, where the Thieves really just need to be able to slow him down in the respawns. I think as long as Thieves are able to do those things, that they will have a high likelihood of going 3-0 or 3-1. I think realistically, they'll probably end up going 3-1, but if the Thieves win the first hardpoint, I could see them going 3-0. Let me know what you guys think about this matchup in the comment section down below. I'm interested to hear your guys' takes about this upcoming matchup. If you would like more updates about the Thieves, go ahead and check out the ThievesTalk Twitter page. I will have that linked in the description down below. And if you would like to follow me, go ahead and check out my Twitter as well. I will have that linked underneath the ThievesTalk page. And if you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. And don't be afraid to ring the bell. It'll notify you every time I post a new video, so you'll see all the new updates about the Thieves. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. See you guys.